Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. Today's video is going to be another video on Tommy Sotomayor, actually talking about the whole Vlad TV Tariq Nasheed thing from a 2024 perspective. Somebody in my last comment section let me know that Tommy Sotomayor made an opinion video on this whole situation. So I thought, that sounds pretty interesting to hear what he has to say, you know, now, seeing as how Vlad got to say what he wanted to say and Tariq Nasheed got to say what he wanted to say. Why not have Tommy be able to postulate his opinion on it as well? So if you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me a blue heart. That lets me know that you are here, even if you don't have anything else to say. I appreciate the comment. Likes, shares, whatever you guys got. And by the way, your girl is quite pregnant. So if I'm like trying to catch my breath here and everything, that's why. I am currently 36 weeks pregnant. So coming up here at the end of August 27th to be exact, is my due date. Hopefully this baby comes on time, not like the other two and waits for a holiday or something. Both my kids were born on holidays. My daughter, May 5th, my son, July 4th. So I guess if history repeats itself, this baby will be due Labor Day. Let's get started. I mean, shall we?
Okay, so back to the story at hand. I had the conversation with you, didn't go well. Then I had the conversation with Tommy, and I'm trying to explain to him that I didn't set him up, that had nothing to do with this. He records the conversation and posts it on YouTube. At which point, I felt like I was done with both of y'all. I said, I'm done with this whole group right here. Like this whole beef that I didn't even know existed, I'm done. I took down your interview. I never posted his interview. And then I was over. And, you know, over the years, you know, I took some shots at you online. You responded. So we've taken shots at each other and so forth. But then when I saw that interview, when you explained why you did what you did, I reached out to you. I sent you a text. I said, hey, do you want to have a conversation? You responded.
Absolutely.
I'm like, let's get on the phone. And we had a mature conversation about it.
We did. Yes, we did.
And I said, yo, let's have you come in and kind of show how two grown men who are successful at what they do could actually talk things out.
Absolutely.
Without it being, you know, a bunch of rah-rah and ridiculousness.
Exactly.
And just shows growth. Because honestly, what I realized was it was all based on a misconception.
Right.
And that's that. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
And now, here we are.
Yes, indeed.
So Vlad did all the talking, and Tariq just sat there shaking his head and agreeing with everything he says. He says he reached out to the man who came up in his studio, but not the man who you put in a situation to where that could have went left and harmed that man who just came to interview you. You called that man to apologize. You reached out to that man to say my bad. You know what man he didn't reach out to? Me. But wait a minute. I didn't do shit to you. I still stayed and finished the fucking interview and gave you a great interview. You son of a bitch. But you reached out to that man because you realized, oh, it was a misunderstanding. Well, I didn't do shit.
Tariq Nasheed was 100% wrong. And you reach out to the guy who was 100% wrong, who not only embarrassed himself, tried to embarrass Tommy and you, Vlad. You reach out to him, give him a second chance and a second interview on the show, but not actually Tommy Sotomayor. You offered Tommy Sotomayor no apology, and neither did Tariq Nasheed, and that was his interview with you. You allowed another person come in and try to clown him. Yeah, I definitely can totally understand Tommy Sotomayor's gripe about that situation. But for Vlad to just act like, you know, cool with Tariq now, like all of a sudden, like that's just crazy. Like, I don't know, maybe somebody got paid off here. I don't know, but this is just insane. That doesn't make any sense at all. The perpetrator is awarded another opportunity to explain himself, but not the victim. Make it make sense.
He came into your studio and did this since it wasn't set up. He did it. He didn't put the video out and made your shit look unsafe. He did. I didn't do shit. But you reached out to him after years later. He explained what happened. Huh. Not only has he not reached out to me, but after he put the video out, he did not tag me. He didn't tell people where to find me. He didn't even tell me he was putting the video out. Y'all did. Right, he can record breaking in, but I can't record you telling me you didn't set me up. And you should have been glad that I put out the video or the audio of you saying you didn't set me up, because that's all I did. I want y'all to think about this. All I did was put out an audio where Vlad said, I didn't set you up, and the video is going to be coming out. I didn't record him giving out his cell phone number. I didn't record him giving out his social security, his address, his wife's name. I didn't record him saying anything except taking the opposite view of what Tariq said. Tariq had let them know he had fucked up my interview and all that shit. That's what he was telling people. He was telling people that him and Vlad set me up. So I was making sure that people would hear from the horse's mouth that he didn't set me up. So if anything happened, he was recorded saying that he didn't do it. He was more upset at me for recording that and playing him saying he did not set me up than he was at Tariq recording himself breaking in an interview and making it look unsafe at his place. So he reached out to Tariq to apologize. Anyway, let me let you guys listen to what happened as DJ Akademics jumped in on it.
And you know something, before we even get to that, I just want to say that I was watching another YouTuber named O'Shea Duke Jackson, and I ended up finding out about, you know, this whole response, and that made me want to do a video on it too. O'Shea Duke Jackson basically was stating that he believes that the reason that Vlad and Tariq Nasheed and a lot of other black speakers or YouTubers have kind of disowned Tommy Sotomayor because they just don't like him. And that could be the case. Like, now that I look at it, it's like you're cool with the person that was technically in the wrong, but you're not cool with the person that was just there doing an interview. It sounds like he doesn't like Tommy very much. Vlad TV I'm talking about. Because you wait almost a decade to put out the interview that you had with this man. And like he said, you didn't give him a shout out, tell anybody where they can find him, which is on rumble.com. If you guys are curious, Tommy Sotomayor has about 20,000 subscribers on there, and it seems like his channel on there is trying to grow and do pretty good. Not as good as his channels on YouTube, but for a low-key website like Rumble, he's doing pretty good. So kudos to Tommy, but it's like one of those things where I can definitely see that a lot of these different YouTubers seem to be coming against Tommy Sotomayor, and I don't really understand why. I guess it is because they just don't like him, but I don't think that he's really done anything to them personally for them to come against him like that. You're telling me that just because he has this like agenda where he talks about, you know, black single motherhood and how it's the downfall of the black community, you're telling me that that's the reason for you not to like this man? Like, that's kind of dumb, especially in Vlad's case, because you're not even black. It shouldn't affect you at all. He's definitely kept the same, I guess you could say, message over the years, but he's toned it down quite a bit. There was a channel that he had called TNN Raw, where he talked, you know, like, I guess like how a lot of people say he talked down on black women. And it wasn't like he just, you know, came at them and just said horrible things. No, he would take news clips or police cam videos or just something that would show and indicate, you know, poor black female behavior. And he said it in a way, and he called it out in a way, just like Kevin Samuels, but with way more profanity, way more offensive language. And maybe that's the reason that people say they don't like him, because he does use a lot of curse words and things like that. And maybe we're just in such a politically correct society now that people don't want to hear you trash talk like that. They don't mind an overall message as long as it doesn't have any profanity in it. Maybe that's Tommy Sotomayor's, I guess you could say, downfall. Like, just the fact that he uses such profane language. That is just what I'm thinking.
Take a listen. You may not agree with certain things that the person says, and I had Tariq Nasheed on my platform. Mm-hmm. It was actually a relatively good conversation, but it wasn't until maybe a couple months later I interviewed Tommy Sotomayor, and Tariq Nasheed literally burst into the studio to like confront him. And, you know, this whole situation just turned ugly and disrespectful. I'm like, yo, I give this dude a platform only for him to come and burst into my fucking studio because he got a beef with the dude I'm interviewing. And Tommy's saying I set him up, and then Tommy starts recording my phone calls, and I just say, and the Tommy Sotomayor shit, like, I didn't really realize him, but once, you know, when I look back at the interview, which I never put out, it was like very anti-black woman. You know,
when he looked back at the interview, it was very anti-black woman. So again, he kept putting out narratives that were untrue. They were fake.
I'm saying, and I just said, you know something? I'm done with this whole fucking genre at this point.
Yeah,
All these dudes who are like anti-everything and whatever, and their claim to fame is just being edgy, you know, and don't really have actual talent behind what they do.
So I'm anti-black woman and black people, but Tariq Nasheed isn't anti-white people? Or is it just okay that he's anti-white and anti blacks that aren't from America?
Only for him to come and burst into my fucking studio because he got a beef with the dude I'm interviewing.
Yeah.
Tommy saying I set him up.
I mean, let's just be real. A lot of YouTubers don't have like an actual talent, if you will. It's not like we're on here performing, you know, singing and dancing. A lot of us, our channels have subscribers because of simply what we say. People like the way that we say it. In Tommy Sotomayor's case, he had a way of making people laugh. He could take a picture of somebody, take a small clip, and just like roast the crap out of the person to the point where you'd be rolling on the floor laughing, like literally, you know. And like I said, I guess we're in such a politically correct society now that can't exist anymore. And like I said, it's very unfortunate. Now that I am aware of the whole Rumble channel, and I recognize now it's not so hard to get into or find, I'll probably be on there watching him a little more. I don't know if I'm going to end up opening an account on Rumble, but that's just, you know, a way that I can still enjoy my Tommy Sotomayor videos. What are any of these guys' real talents? A lot of them are just well known for being speakers, you know, whatever.
And then Tommy starts recording my phone calls.
And by the way, you know, so in the same almost situation how I got to interview Tate, I almost was gonna do something with Tommy. He was down in Miami.
Tommy Sotomayor?
Yeah. And listen,
I am not out of Miami. So again, look how easy it is for these people to lie on me. Tommy Sotomayor, who's out of Miami. When was I ever out of Miami?
I'm going to stop him really quick. I don't think he said out of Miami. I think he said down in Miami. Maybe at one point Tommy was in Miami, Florida, because he did definitely travel a lot. And maybe there was a point where he was near DJ Academics and he was thinking about having him on his show or in his studio. I don't think that he said out of Miami. I'm pretty sure he said down.
And again, he talked for 1 minute and 35 seconds.
I'm open to doing it, but I remember saying, well, if he's gonna be on my platform, it got to be constructive conversation. It can't be like, yo, you're just trying to get off, yo, fuck these black bitches, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it's constructive, which I believe he has the ability to do. Now, I do think some of these guys, like, they'll go for the low hanging fruit in name calling, in saying certain things that will excite or agitate a certain audience, which just takes away from any positive, you know, because I think one thing that's Tommy, I agree with him on, is when he says that there is a push to remove black fathers out of the home, and that's very necessary. Just that.
Another nigga that knows me, another nigga that knows about me, another man that quotes a lot of shit that I say, but act like I don't exist.
That's what O'Shea Dude Jackson was talking about. You know, maybe it's like people enjoy or have enjoyed Tommy Sotomayor in the past, but because of the level of profanity used, it's just not the correct way to go about it. As you get to higher echelons, you know, you have to change. Sometimes you have to change with it. I mean, we've seen the way Tariq Nasheed was in the last, you know, interview with on the Vlad TV, how he came in there, you know, in a t-shirt and stuff like that, and hair was different. Now all of a sudden he's a lot more clean cut. I don't even know if that's his real hair, but I mean, if it is, you know, kudos to him for being in his 50s and having a full head of hair. That's not gray. But it's like one of those things where you have to kind of change as you move up in life. You can't expect to exhibit the same behaviors and then get better results, you know, like you kind of do have to change the way that you say things. Just like how we've seen Tommy Sotomayor on, you know, actual like real news channels and things like that, and he uses cleaner language. He does speak different than when he's just talking to somebody, a one-on-one interview, you know, through a Skype or through a StreamYard or something. We've seen him talk different even on like the Fresh and Fit. Like, remember when he had that incident with that one black woman?
Not finna try to play me on
Who's playing you, stupid bitch?
No, bitch, you fucking stupid.
Nobody's playing your cat too thing. I'm the wrong nigga. I'm the wrong nigga.
Hit me again, you nasty bitch. Hit me again, you nasty bitch. You nasty bitch. Pussy smack ass bitch. You nasty hoe.
That's why your dick stink. That's why your dick stink. Bitch, get off me. Get off.
And I'm not gonna lie, that didn't make anybody look good. That didn't make Fresh and Fit look good, that they allowed that to even happen. It didn't make the black young lady look good. She was looking very masculine. And it didn't make Tommy look very good either, because we're talking about a girl that's like half your age. You gotta handle things better. It's not how you want to handle things. You can't be so quick to anger and quick to, you know, throw verbal blows and say horrible things to people. Like, you just shouldn't do that. And maybe that is truly the reason that Tommy Sotomayor has a hard time, because he gets so mad and then he says such mean, hateful things and then uses profane language. People don't like that kind of stuff overall. It's like, sometimes, Tommy, you are going to have people who say things to you that you're not going to like. And as a grown man, you have to be able to take some things and just accept it. Sometimes, like how you have said, you know, some people just eat what you say. Sometimes you're going to have to just eat what other people say, even if it is offensive. Sometimes there's some truth and validity to the things that people say, especially when the majority of people are saying this. And you've not done anything to DJ Academics. You've not done anything to Vlad. You've not done, well, not done anything to Tariq Nasheed. You said some things to him, but you haven't done anything to him physically. But these men don't like you, and then they're getting other people to not like you. And it's like, maybe there's something about you that you should change. Maybe there's something that you can look at inside yourself and say, you know what, maybe I do need to change the way that I handle my anger, handle these situations. Because first of all, for your own health and sanity, it can't be good to just fly off the handle every time you're mad. Like, it's just not a good way to react, you know, period. But if it's also getting a lot of your bridges burned, then you have to look inward. There's no other place to look at that point but inward.
A lot of these things I agree with him on, you know, when he talk about, you know, fathers and stuff. Well, if you agree with me, motherfucker, you know what you would have seen? Almost every damn interview I've ever done, I kill it, you son of a bitch. And you know what I don't do? I don't sit up there and say, black bitch this, black bitch that, black bitch this. Somebody tell me when I've sat up there and done an interview anywhere where I was just sitting up there, black bitch this, black bitch that, black bitch, black bitch, black bitch, black bitch. That's what this nigga just said.
No, you're right. You don't sit there and go, black bitch this, black bitch that. I've never seen an interview where he just like starts off, you know, calling black women B words. But if somebody pisses you off, then yeah, you will jump to the black B thing. Like I said, I just pulled up the clip. You do that. So it's one of those things where maybe at the end of the day, you got to learn how to control your temper, and you got to learn that there's a time and place for that stuff. And in DJ Academics' case, it's like he's speaking on it just because he's been around for it a long time, you know, and he's not perfect either. Nobody's perfect. Everybody's got something wrong with them. At some point, you're going to have to admit, like, maybe, just maybe, there are some things that I could do to change my behavior, change the way I handle these situations when I get angry, and you might actually see some results, especially if you have trouble dating and having relationships with the opposite sex. You yourself have said that you have wanted, you know, to get married and have, you know, more children, or at least you used to say stuff like that. Maybe your aspirations have changed because you've gotten older, but having a companion, I'm sure, is still something that everybody wants at the end of the day. Maybe you would have better luck if you weren't so quick to anger.
Yet we can see hundreds of interviews I've done where it was not black bitch anything. So these niggas get to sit up here and just fucking lie. And why do they lie on me? They know me. They know about me. They don't introduce me to their audience. And when they do say something about me to their audience, it's lies like this. Have y'all ever wondered why this happens? Do y'all even give a shit? Do y'all even care?
It happens because there's some validity and truth to it. The reason that people don't want you around is because they don't want to be affiliated with a guy that gets angry really quickly and starts cursing. You're just watching this right now and you're yelling and cursing and call them an MFer and things like that. You should just hear it from a different perspective.
That a group of motherfuckers I don't know. I don't talk about his ass. I don't say nothing about his motherfucking show. I don't watch him. You never heard me quote him. You done heard him quote me plenty of times. Steal from me plenty of times. All these niggas steal from me. I don't watch they shit.
It's very necessary. Just that. So just that, I think I could have a great conversation with him about. Now, when other things seeps in, which might be biases, might be genuine hate or whatever the case is, I don't want that to basically, you know, destruct possibly a productive podcast. And I think that would just be on me to steer the conversation right, or choose whether or not to put it out if I'm done with it. You know what I mean?
Listen, I had that conversation, and he was like anti-black people, and I was just like, I'm like, the stuff you're describing.
He was anti-black people. I was anti-black people. He interviewed me.
I think that Vlad is definitely taking like the Tariq Nasheed approach. I don't think you're anti-black people. I don't think you've ever been anti-black people. I think you have always wanted the best for the black community, especially black men. You've always said, you know, take your dicks and go home, trying to get men to view themselves as higher and value themselves more. Most black women can even admit, like, yeah, you know, we be doing some stuff sometimes where it's like, yeah, we kind of destroy our chances of having a normal life because of the decisions we make. These people are just trying to be honest about how they view you. And I'm not talking about Tariq Nasheed, you know, because Tariq Nasheed's kind of a jerk. Let's be real. But I think in DJ Akademics' case, he's just trying to, you know, say it from a perspective where he's not coming at you. He's not saying anything bad about Tommy Sotomayor. He said nothing about you that was bad. He's just mentioned the fact that, you know, during interviews, you go ham sometimes, and you do. Like, there's evidence all over YouTube of it.
Y'all saw the interview. I was anti-black people.
Is not specifically black, it's more about poor people and poor communities. You could pretty much take race out of it, and it applies to a poor community anywhere on earth, but you're trying to specifically say this is black, which I disagree with. And he had a hard time trying to defend that.
Yeah.
But at the whole time, it's like,
I had a hard time